Welcome to the Real HD Show, the higher discussion. This is your thought provoking forum where you could come in and discuss the good, the bad, the ugly of our people going on in everyday life. And we have you have just that, a HD, a higher discussion. So tune in, strap in for about an hour or so. We're going to bring up some pertinent issues. We're going to bring up some things that people may not want to talk about. We may even have to spread some toes, ruffle some feathers, but we're going to get our act together before we leave the show. Let's see. So right away, I'm not even going to waste any time because I'm running a bit behind. So we're going to get right into our Elders and Ancestors Lit City Report mashup, smash up, and this is on Ed Molina Lewis. Here we go.
Look at this statue. If you look closer, you'll notice that a broken chain dangles from the man's wrist. This is the statue of an African American man who has been freed from slavery. The woman kneeling next to him prays for a better future. This is the work of the sculptor Edmonia Lewis. Her mother was part American and part Native American, Ojibwe. Her father was most likely of Haitian origin. Edmonia Lewis was the first African American and Native American visual artist to shine on the international art scene. At the time, the enslavement of people of African descent was widespread in the United States. Its abolition was at the heart of the American Civil War. In 1865, the North won the war. Over time, slavery was abolished in the entire US. Edmonia Lewis was just 17 years old at the beginning of the Civil War. Because Edmonia was orphaned when she was just 9 years old, her brother, who had made his fortune in California, paid for her education. She went to Oberlin, a college in Ohio, and one of the only schools to accept women and African American people. Here, she mastered the art of drawing. Despite the college admissions policy, Edmonia Lewis was subjected to racist discrimination. She was accused of poisoning her classmates and was violently attacked. She took her accuser to court and won, but she was not allowed back to college the following year. Edmonia Lewis moved to Boston. There, she received support from a community of rich and influential abolitionist men and women who were opposed to slavery. She sculpted medallions of them, including Wendell Phillips and Robert Gould Shaw. She began to earn her living, honing her sculpting skills. She was part of the Boston art scene, which included the sculptor Edward Brackett, the painter Edward Bannister, who was also African American, and the poet Anna Quincy. With the support of her abolitionist patrons, Edmonia traveled to Rome in 1865. She found great inspiration in the Roman, classical, and Baroque styles present in the city. As an African American woman, she felt much freer in Rome. Look closely at this statue of Cleopatra. Can you see the snake whose bite resulted in the queen's death? Cleopatra was an African queen. Edmonia Lewis based her likeness on that of a white woman engraved on a Roman coin. It is likely she thought this would help her statue's chances of being selected for the 1876 Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia, which it was. Edmonia insisted on doing everything by herself, so that no one could claim that her work had been made by someone else. Edmonia Lewis became well known for her neoclassical sculptures, and she received commissioned work, mainly from abolitionist patrons. She brought her mastery to subjects that were close to her heart. Here, the characters from Henry Longfellow's 1855 poem, The Song of Hiawatha. This epic poem is a love story about an Ojibwe warrior and a Dakota woman. By leaving stereotypes out of her work, Edmonia celebrated its universality. When we examine Edmonia Lewis's artistic legacy in the context of her time, the work of this artist, a woman of Native American and African American origin, is all the more exceptional. Sadly, only a few pieces of her work remain. You can see them here: Howard University Gallery of Art, Detroit Institute of Art, Metropolitan Museum of Art, Baltimore Museum of Art.
That's right. We're talking about Edmonia Lewis, one of the heavyweight artists, sculptors, artistic interpreters of the 19th century. And, she doesn't get her due, but she's going to get her due here because I know with her interpretive styles, a lot of people, a lot of, 20th century artists that we want to, put in the Guggenheim or the New York City Museum of Art or any of the big, art, or any of the big museums all over the world, they borrow some from her without giving the credit. As a matter of fact, I don't know if people know much about Edmonia Lewis, but she was responsible for creating the mold that most pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters use and celebrate throughout the USA and various places around the European kingdom. Yeah, her mold, the way that she constructed the bust and the side view of a particular famous figure went on to be the same design that was used on most quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, and a lot of European coinage. So if you look at a penny before they go out of circulation, or a nickel or a dime, and you see the way it's made, you can know that a sister put her hands on the blueprint of that. Shout out to Edmonia Lewis. Real dope. Just wanted to put that out there because they're not going to teach you that in school, and they're not going to make you pass a course that included that particular segment for you to know history, for you to know mathematics, for you to know sociology. So many different uh, principles and educational varieties go into her story and what she contributed to the planet. So shout out to her. Shout out to what she's done with her life and times. And that was also our Stolen Legacy report. And it started our Lit City report. So let me bring you the intro for the Elders and Ancestors Blueprint. And then we're going to start our Lit City report. Yeah, so one was the catalyst for another. Much like our topic for the evening, but of course, everything has a everything has a source, a conduit, and then a future outcome. So we want to have our subjects going that very way. And we'll jump back into our uh, Lit City report. But for now, let's get into our. Yeah, man. Thank you, DJ Clean, for that beat. That was really dope. We have our AAT report here for you this evening. And one of the things that we're going to start off and talk about on the show. Oh, you know what? Let me not keep moving before I do the thing that keeps us improving. So what's gonna keep us improving is you doing this right here. You banging, smashing, and participating with them buttons. The like button, the comment button, the subscribe button, the share button, and turning on all notifications. Now I'm gonna say this about when people ask you people ask, especially when I ask, it is generally for me and my own research. It's not AI. It's not, any of the algorithms out here. I don't really care about that. I count who watches my show. I go back into the analytics. I look at it. I look at when. I look at who. I look at why. I look at how long. And it helps me to understand how many people like what I'm doing, how many people get into what I'm doing. And when I fully get off of these social media streets and onto my own channel on Amazon, my own channel on Roku, my own channel on so many other really, really great modalities of commercial entertainment, I get to bring my audience with me. So now you're part of a case study that will help me flourish and move the shows, all my shows, on the Real HD television network to a bigger and greater plateau. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, and turn on all your notifications. So every time we have a Real HD show, you too can join us and have a higher discussion. All right. So for all that are looking, listening, and invested, we are going to keep it pushing because that's what we're here for tonight. Happy 22nd of the April Gregorian calendar, as it was. And we're going to try to, introduce some things, show you some things that are really, edifying for your mind, body, and spirit. Hopefully, you get something out of this. And at the end of it all, you can be better than when you came in, better when you left than when you came in the joint. So I'm looking for my AAT report video. Okay, here we go. All right, I found it. Cool. So, healthy, wealthier, and wiser for a brand new you extends not only to anything on the land, under the water, and in the air that could help us be healthy, wealthier, and wiser. I am going to try to bring that to you. This first one, and I want your thoughts, man. I want you to really go there with this one because it's an interesting one. And I'm going to tell you why afterwards, but I'm going to show you what's really up with it right here, right now. AAT Health Report. Here we go.
Trusting heavy decanters and royal crests, but you are paying for a multi-billion-dollar illusion. Today, 13 bottles go on trial. We expose the chemical masking allowed by France's BNIC and the relaxed import rules of the USTTB. These agencies allow corporate brands to pump drinks with artificial dyes, industrial wood extracts, and hidden syrups to disguise rushed, inferior alcohol. First, we expose the chemical nightmares. Then we reveal the bottles that are actually transparent. Check your bar card after this. 7. Remy Martin v. SOP. We begin our prosecution at number 7, Remy Martin v. SOP. Look at the frosted green bottle and the golden centaur logo. You buy this expecting aristocratic elegance and a naturally smooth sip, but the smoothness you are tasting isn't master craftsmanship. It is sugar. Under the regulations set by the BNIC, the Bureau National Interprofessionnel du Cognac, producers are legally allowed to exploit a loophole known as obscuration. This specific regulation permits up to 2% of a cognac's total volume to be pure additives. For heavily commercialized VSOPs, that additive manifests as saccharose, or concentrated syrup. Why pump syrup into expensive liquor? By law, a VSOP classification demands a minimum 4 years aging. 4-year-old alcohol is inherently harsh and burns the throat. Instead of leaving the spirit in the barrel longer to achieve natural maturity, manufacturers rely on the obscuration loophole. They dump saccharose into the vat. This syrup artificially thickens the liquid's texture, coating your tongue and completely masking the aggressive burn of the young alcohol. This deception does more than lie to your palate. When you consume hidden liquid sugars alongside hard alcohol, your liver prioritizes metabolizing the ethanol. That sends the concentrated saccharose straight into your bloodstream, causing rapid blood glucose spikes, metabolic inflammation, and severe toxic hangovers. You are paying a luxury price for cheap, rushed alcohol wearing a sugary disguise. You think you are sipping prestige, but you are drinking a manufactured dessert hiding 4-year-old shortcuts. And if you think paying for hidden sugar is bad, wait until you realize your next premium bottle is just funding a billionaire's courtroom drama. 6. Douce Fiv SOP coming in at number 6. Douce Ver SOP.
Coming after the
When you
Douce
walk into
now.
a high-end
Uh-oh.
lounge and see that heavy, bell-shaped bottle stamped with the metallic cross of Lorraine, you are psychologically programmed to think of absolute luxury. You trust the cultural weight of its most famous backer, Sean Jay-Z Carter. But the moment you pay that inflated premium, you become a victim of the celebrity tax. The liquid inside that beautiful glass does not belong to a meticulous family of independent farmers. Douce is mass-produced at the Chateau de Cognac, a massive facility operated by the global spirits conglomerate Bacardi. For years, consumers were led to believe they were purchasing a transcendent, top-tier spirit. The reality of this financial illusion was exposed in 2022 inside the Delaware Chancery Court. Through the lawsuit SC Liquor LLC versus Bacardi Empire LLC, Sean Carter's company demanded financial transparency from Bacardi, sparking a bitter, highly publicized battle over a multi-billion-dollar valuation. That court case stripped away the marketing magic and revealed the cold corporate machinery behind the brand. When you buy Douce, you are not paying for older superior grapes, extended barrel maturation, or exceptional French terroir. You are financing the marketing budgets, the extravagant PR campaigns, and the exorbitant legal fees of billionaires fighting over profit margins. This is the financial toxicity of celebrity premiumization. They take a fundamentally standard industrial-grade VSOP, pour it into an iconic Cross of Lorraine decanter, and mark up the price purely based on hype. You are draining your wallet for a lifestyle prop, not a genuinely crafted spirit. But Jay-Z isn't the only one selling a premium illusion. The undisputed king of the club relies on a completely different trick: artificial cosmetics. 5. Hennessy versus. We arrive at number 5. Hennessy versus. This is the undisputed titan of the club scene and the liquor store shelf. When you stare at that iconic bottle, the rich, dark amber liquid inside promises decades of oak-aged mastery. It visually signals wealth, maturity, and smoothness. But that deep color is not a product of time. It is a calculated optical illusion designed by the luxury conglomerate LVMH to deceive your brain. Under the legal classification laws, a VS cognac only requires a minimum 2 years aging. At just 24 months, distilled ethanol is highly aggressive, chemically volatile, and incredibly pale in color. It simply has not spent nearly enough time inside a wooden barrel to naturally extract that beautiful, dark mahogany hue. So, how does LVMH make tens of millions of identical bottles look perfectly aged? They dye it. The primary U.S. regulatory agency, the TTB, the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, allows imported cognac to be legally pumped with artificial cosmetic dyes, specifically caramel coloring, which is chemically designated as E150A, Class 1. They use this industrial additive to paint the young alcohol. This creates a severe sensory mismatch. Your eyes see the dark E150 dye and tell your brain to expect a deeply matured, mellow spirit. But the moment it hits your throat, the harsh, burning reality of bare, young ethanol violently tears through the disguise. You are paying a premium price for a 2-year-old pale spirit wearing a chemical spray tan. This visual manipulation tricks millions of consumers into drinking aggressive alcohol straight. At least Hennessy actually owns their distilleries. Our next bottle is literally just another producer's juice, aggressively marked up to cover a massive corporate embezzlement scandal. 4. Branson Cognac 5 SOP. We hit number 4, Branson Cognac 5 SOP. When you see this bottle on the shelf, it screams bespoke luxury. You see the striking custom glass, the gold lettering, and the massive cultural backing of its high-profile owner, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Fans eagerly buy it, trusting they are purchasing an exclusive, top-tier spirit meticulously crafted by a hip-hop mogul. But the reality behind that premium price tag is a masterclass in financial exploitation. Branson does not actually distill this cognac. They simply buy it. This is a textbook white label operation sourced from the Raymond Regnault distillery in France. While Raymond Raynaud produces perfectly fine liquid, the astronomical price you pay at the register has absolutely nothing to do with agricultural quality. It is artificially inflated by celebrity margins and massive internal corruption. In 2023, the dark financial reality of this operation was exposed in a brutal embezzlement lawsuit filed under the name Sire Spirits LLC versus Mitchell Green. The court documents revealed a staggering betrayal of the consumer base. Mitchell Green, the former director of brand management for Sire Spirits LLC, was caught secretly siphoning millions of dollars in illegal kickbacks. He systematically inflated the production costs, adding hidden agency fees to the manufacturing process. The mechanism of this fraud is brutally simple. The end consumer absorbs the cost of the crime. When you purchase Branson VSOP, you are not paying for superior terroir or extended maturation in expensive French oak. You are directly funding the inflated overhead created by a multi-million-dollar corporate theft ring. You are being treated as a financial sponge, drained to cover the internal bleeding of a mismanaged celebrity empire. White labeling is a sneaky financial trick, but what about a chemical shortcut? Let's talk about wood soup. 3. Mew Cow versus we have reached number 3. Mew Cow versus. Look at the iconic bottle adorned with a leaping panther. It is visually striking, aggressively marketed, and designed to project an image of fierce, sophisticated maturity. When you pour it, you expect a complex spirit that earned its flavor through years of patient rest in expensive French oak. But that expectation is a manufactured lie. The aggressive bite you feel at the back of your throat is not the mark of a mature spirit. It is the result of a hyper-accelerated chemical shortcut. While true maturation requires decades of slow oxidation, the current standard industrial process allows mass producers to cheat time. The BNIC, the Bureau National Interprofessionnel du Cognac, legally permits the use of a highly concentrated additive known as boisé. True master blenders in the cognac region quietly refer to this additive as an absolute industry disgrace. What exactly is boisé? It is essentially an industrial wood soup. Manufacturers take cheap oak chips, aggressively boil them in water, and reduce the liquid into a thick, dark, highly concentrated sludge. Instead of letting the alcohol naturally extract subtle flavors from a barrel over 10 years, commercial factories simply pump this boisé sludge directly into vats of raw, young ethanol. The mechanism of this fraud is designed to artificially mimic the chemical profile of old liquor. It instantly injects heavy tannins and synthetic-tasting vanilla notes into the liquid. It forcefully overrides the harsh, chemically volatile nature of the young alcohol, tricking your brain into registering age that does not exist. But the human body cannot be entirely fooled. This forced injection leaves a distinctively bitter.
All right. So I think you guys get the picture there. We're going to come back. The interesting part about all of this is that they're calling this obscure. They went to Congress. Some of these liquor brand makers, they go to Congress or they go wherever they go, whatever municipality that they're in their jurisdiction that they manufacture, right? And they get permission to do these obscurities on liquor. And then they pump it to you with, heavy bottles and gold labeling. And a lot of it is straight sugar. You know what I mean? And to me, it's what you call planned obsolescence, right? So you think you're getting a smooth cognac, you think you're getting a good whiskey, a good brandy, a good rum, or whatever your fancy is, hen rock, whatever you like. But what you're really getting is sugar additives and chemical additives that make the maturation process of the liquor happen faster or stay longer on the shelves. Now, what's interesting is you'll see this in food. You'll see the same process in food. Hold on, let me close the window. This dog is barking. Give me a sec. Next door neighbor dog wants to have a fit while I'm on air. But anyway, so you'll see these additives in liquor. You'll see them in food. You'll see them in juice and soda. They are cheating these food, liquor, and liquids producers, and it doesn't matter the brand. They're all looking to cut a buck. They're all looking to cut a buck. And if you don't ask the appropriate questions, you are drinking planned obsolescence. What's planned obsolescence? Well, planned obsolescence is when something you think you're buying into a great sustainable product with quality, value, and maturity, and that product is doomed to fail. It's not the original product that you were, sold on when you thought you were buying a great product. It's not going to last you as long. The effect that you want from the product is not going to be what you thought it was. And then the age, the maturity, and the sophistication is all made up. And the one part that really struck me was interesting, right? Because they say if you drink a rum or a cognac or a vodka or something like that, and it's in you and it's burning your throat is ripe because whatever is going down in a real hard way, harsh way, burning you up, and you think that that is uh, quality liquor. Think again, my friend. Think again. Liquor ages so that it could be smoother. It doesn't age so it could be rougher. Now, you may react at the way that it tastes, and it may have a really refined, thicker taste to it, but it shouldn't burn you up. It shouldn't be super, super, super acidic. And for me, like I taught chemistry, and when a solvent is at a base form, it's not acidic. It's leveled. So if your wine or your spirit of choice, your liquor of choice, is acidic and it's really burning your chest, like you have to take more than, like, let's say 3 seconds to get over the effect of it burning your chest up, then you got a bad piece of liquor. And the best way to prevent that, right? Number one is not to buy cheap liquor. That's number one. If you're gonna buy liquor and you're gonna drink, and don't buy cheap products. Number one, put a little bit of money, $30, $40, $50 into what you're drinking, and ask questions of the owner. Ask important questions of the owner because the owner may straight up tell you what's going on because the owner has to buy in bulk from whatever manufacturer they're getting the liquor from. And when they buy in bulk, sometimes the manufacturer knows that the liquor is not on the up and up and will make people buy more than they really want to buy as a let's say a liquor store or warehouse, wherever you go to buy your liquor, they'll make them buy more because they know that it's a planned obsolescence. It's fake. It's phony. It's not going to last. It's not going to endure. People are going to drink it and come back for more, or they're going to drink it and not be happy. So they need to have more on the shelf so they can sell more. Planned obsolescence. So I just wanted to hit y'all with that, man. Not to mention the sugar. That's going to, of course, increase to all of the health maladies that they talked about in the video. Weight gain, diabetes, hypertension, all those type of things, sleep abnormalities, all that type of stuff. And I gotta say, man, I got it honest because I get my little sip on sometimes, and I gotta be very careful with what I'm putting in my body. I gotta be careful with how I'm, what I'm buying, where I'm buying it from, and then, of course, if you're in urban areas, some uh, liquor stores will have you shopping behind a glass. They won't even let you put your eyes on the product before you even buy it, which is crazy and a half to me because I'm not buying nothing I can't put my hands on and inspect for myself and look at myself and make sure the ethics and the quality of it is, what I'm trying to get myself involved in. All right, y'all. So let me know, man, y'all thoughts. Please tell me your thoughts on the planned obsolescence or the phoniness of, modern liquor. Y'all do say drinkers, y'all Hennessy drinkers, are y'all okay with the fact that there's sugar all up and through your favorite, you know, weekend, libation? Talk to us, man. Let us know. Let us know how you feel about that. They ask for a nice little piece of change when you go to the store to buy them joints. So, the very least, they could make an honest product. You know what I'm saying? And that was our AAT report. And we're going to jump right back into our Lit City report. Here we go. Yeah, man, we are in a Lego. We are in a lit city report. The wild, the wacky, the wonderful things that make our world go round. And I am looking for. Okay, cool. So the Lego boys are back. That's right. Them Iran teens that want to that are protesting the war through their animation art with Lego. The Lego boys are back, and they have some really big messages about what's going on over there and how they see the happenings, the comings and goings of what's going on with this war overseas through their eyes. And they got a message for people in the United States. Let's check it out. Lit City Report. Here we go.
We do not hate you, people of the West. We see you through the smoke of what they call progress. We have watched from across the ocean, from behind their walls. And what we see is a people who deserve better than what rules them. This is not a war cry. This is a wake-up call. Open your eyes, brothers and sisters. The hands that wave your flag are not the hands that hold you. Listen. We love Americans. We love your soul. The land of dreamers, the brave, the bold. But something sits on top of you, dressed in your name, spending your children's blood like a game. We love Americans, oh yes we do. But the ones who speak for you don't speak for you. Wake up, before the morning's gone. They built the cage so slow. You thought it was your home? Yeah, they hand you left and right like two halves of a lie. Different faces, different voices, same agenda inside. One wears a blue suit, one wears a red tie. But behind closed doors, they shake hands and divide. The taxes from your table fund the war you never chose. They name it liberation, but it's oil, everyone knows. They call us terrorists on the television screen, while the real terrorism wears a suit and gets a pension in a dream. They sell your children futures built on manufactured debt. Then send those very children off to wars they'll soon forget. And when the coffins come home draped in stars and stripes, nobody on that podium is losing sleep at night. The media machine spins before the body hits the ground. A new enemy is needed every time the polls come down. We watched it from Tehran, from Kabul, from Baghdad too. The ones they demonize were people just like you. They said we hate your freedom, but your freedom is our dream. We read your constitution, we know what those words mean. It's the ones who wrote the speeches and then buried what they said, who turned that sacred document into a tool of dread. We love America.
All right, I think you get it. They landed on a little. I think you get it. They landed on a little thick with the "We Love Americans." Nah, but I appreciate their fire. I appreciate their creativity. I appreciate their immediacy, like the imminent nature to produce art that reflects the times. Like, yo, where you at, my hip hop artists, man? They doing more hip hop than y'all, man. Hip hop reflects art that reflects the times. Like, where we at with ours, man? That's what hip hop was born from. So that means everybody, the Kendricks, the Drakes, the everybody that's out there who claims to be a hip hop artist, the Badus, even the new ones, even the new people coming up. My young people who want to be artists. Where's your art that reflects the times? Where's your rebel music at? We gonna let Iranians outdo us in something that we are as directly involved in as they are? Like, come on, that's out of control. Let us know what you thought about that video, man, because they got a bunch of them. The IG site or the IG page is called Explosive Media. And whenever there's a lie or some sort of macro news flash that Trump or whoever from America or England or, Israel is trying to put out about the war, yo, these young cats have some sort of way where they get that animation out there almost the same day, talking against those talking points, talking against what the macro world media is talking about, having their say their way. You know what I'm saying? Yo, crazy. Love it. And I want them to keep going because they hip hop right now and they're doing it better than us. That's a shame. You know, we got the God MC is on the screen.
Yes,
I
indeed.
need our people to come up with that rebel music, man. Where we at? We in a war, like, and they talking about putting people in the draft and doing all kind of foo foo cuckoo shit. But where's our rebel music? Peace, Godspeed. What's going on with you, bro?
Chilling, my brother. How are you?
Good, man. We in the middle of a lit city report, and
Nice.
we were playing a clip by the Lego Boys out of Iran doing hip hop better.
I heard about them.
Yeah, doing hip hop better than us, man. They
I
putting
saw a
out the
little.
message
I saw
music.
the tail end of it. I saw the tail end of it.
Yeah, they putting out the reality message music better than we are. Where's our artists putting that out? Like our country's over there doing that too. Like where we at? What's our narrative? What we talking about?
Yeah, I hear you, my brother.
We just worried about putting a piece of coins in our pockets and rushing that plastic through the machine. That's what we caring about.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know how it is, man. Window shopping, change
Mm.
clothes. You know.
Yeah, you just want to go window. You just want to be a shopper, right?
Yeah, you know how that go.
Mm-hmm. Want to live that transactional lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but I love on the real shit. I made that part of the Lit City report because I love what they doing, and they are like they on it, bro. Like
I got. You know what? I got one for you for next week. That
dope,
will. That
dope.
will.
Please,
That
please
will.
come
I
through.
think.
Yeah,
I
come
think it'll
come
be a
through
good
with
time
something,
for
man.
us. Yeah.
If I'm missing it, if
Yeah.
there's some rebel music happening, or
I got
you
something
know,
for you. You gonna dig
yeah,
it though. You
man. If
gonna
the
dig it.
Lego Boys is coming out with something else, and you got something better, and that goes for everybody else, man. Anybody watching, anybody on right now on the show, watching from wherever you at, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, wherever you at, and you watching it, and you got something, somebody who's making some music, some rebel music that's speaking to the times, that's going to edify our mind, body, and energy toward what's happening in the world, please, let's go. Because that's what I'm here for. But I love the Lego Boys. I love their spirit. They answer stuff immediately. Like, when they say that how the pilots got rescued. Remember they talked about that? You still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I was asking if you remember how Trump was bragging about the pilots.
You know what? The pilot's not too tough. Not too tough. I don't recall.
Yeah, he was bragging. There was a couple of news clips where he was bragging about the Israeli American ally movement to rescue the pilots that were almost POWs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then the Lego boys came through and was like, nah, y'all lying.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. You
Yeah,
know
no,
what I'm saying?
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna spin the block back on that footage when the
Yes. It's
archives get put
called
out.
they call explosive media, man. They dope.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, they all that in a bag of chips. I love what they doing. And if you love what they doing, talk to us. Come on the
Right.
show. Let us know where you coming from. Let us know if you think that they're, doing things that are, healthy for the culture.
Hmm.
Um, because we're gonna get into one more message. And this is a lit city report because she's telling the truth, and we love that. Here we go. Boom.
Tell me that the same people that are behind the destructive music being pushed towards black people are the same people behind Zeus Network? You still think it's just entertainment? Ask yourself this. Why don't we get shows like A Different World anymore? Why no more Cosby shows? Why no more Fight the Power energy? Because that kind of content made people think. It made us want more unity, more education, more ownership. It made us actually believe we could be something. And they know that. Now look at what's being pushed. Now it's violence, division, self-hate, self-destruction dressed up as culture. That's not culture. That's conditioning. Let's stop playing dumb. You don't accidentally replace empowerment with self-destruction. That's not random. That's designed. They know what inspires you and what destroys you. And look what keeps getting funded.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got to get that sister the fire brand.
Yeah, give us some fire.
Yeah, we got to get our sister some fire. You know what I mean? Because
She, 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 she pretty much on the same beat you on when it comes to this topic, you know?
absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna stay on that brand because we have a legacy. Let me get our sister the applause. We have a legacy, and we have a we have annals and chronology of truth tellers,
Mm-hmm.
folks who wasn't scared to let it go, put it out there, and make it real for folks who don't know, so we could all move together.
Yep,
You know,
facts.
yeah, man. So that was that was our lit city report, the wildy, the wacky, the wonderful things that make our world go round. Because we need black joy. So if you are a producer, an artist, a writer, and you are original folks, melanated people, it's up to you to pick up that pen and bring that newness in, bring that truth in. You know,
Yeah,
we
they
need
got
it.
some out there like
We need it.
this video I'm gonna give you for next week's Lit City report. Yeah, brother, you're gonna see. Now, there's somebody out there pumping that heat right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it needs to. We need more of the younger generation too. We need the gunners, and we need the young thugs, and we need you know the drill community of Brooklyn, Bronx, and Manhattan to come
Right,
out and spit that fire too. Not just the old heads.
right.
We need the young ones to do it too. Y'all got way too many examples that y'all not doing that right now. It's just ridiculous. This is not cipher. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how you feel about what we just talked about. Are you triggered? Because that's the name of the episode. Are you triggered? Are you gonna go there, or are you just scared? You let us know, man. Like, share, subscribe. Timestamp this particular segment and let us know what you think about it. What's on your mind, bro? What you been dealing, man? What you been building on over the week?
Some things of a personal nature more so. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. Gotta be. Gotta be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. So there's a lot going on,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna get to it because everybody's like, "Damn, you started the show and you ain't even talking about the main event of the show. What's going on with you?" Because we have a lot that pertinent information, a lot of priority information that needs to go out to and for the community so that you can be edified, you can step with stride, you can walk with power, and you can do your thing and be fortified for it. Um, so in a lot of places, man, we this is interesting because we're about to get into this with these gender politics and Godspeed to tell you, I don't really do the gender politics on the show, but this one was a little too
Right.
much. I had to say something. I had to do it. So I'll make it the main event of the show. We'll get into it. But there's some things that are going that if we don't put our, you know, eye on, and if we don't, really head off before they make it onto these shores, we will be sorely mistaken. Let's check this out. What's going on with the craziness that's going on in the Netherlands? They're an ally of the United States, but there's some things happening there that are a little wild and wacky, and I wanted to get your thoughts. Here we go. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff going on over there.
What is happening in the Netherlands right now?
This is an emergency SOS call from the Netherlands. All hope is lost. Please save us. I'm calling on the international community to do something about the extreme disease that is in charge of the Netherlands. Just tonight, our parliament discussed a new law that will allow two men to donate DNA material to create a joint embryo out of two men, meaning a child born of two men, and will also allow a single person to mate with themselves to produce a self-fertilized egg and then create a child with only one biological parent. This comes after the Netherlands legalized gay marriage, after we had the first gay prime minister, after we invented the Dutch protocol, which is an unscientific, unproven way of castrating a man and then giving him a fake vagina with tissue from out of his ass. I'm not kidding about that. We're allowing euthanasia of children from ages 12 and up, and 16 and 17-year-olds can have themselves euthanized without their parental consent. We are also allowing, under the Groningen Protocol, the euthanasia of children up to 1 year old. So if you don't like your child, you can get rid of it after it's been born. Of course, we have abortion up to birth, right? We had the world's first pedophile party taking part in our elections. My God, I can't do this anymore.
Oh gosh. Oh boy. Like, that's a lot of sexual politics, man. And the reason I bring this up is because, our community is susceptible to at large, macro messaging. And because we're looking for anything that can help us escape our, not to put in that work in our reality. I'll be anything. I'll be a purple polka dotted monkey with a dress on, with rabbit ears, and singing an Oompa Loompa song if I don't have to be black or I don't have to be an original people. Anything but that. So we like so many of our elder statesmen now and women that were orators, and they so eloquent put their things. We looking for that escapism in any form or fashion, man. And then the things that go on overseas, they make their way over here culturally. They make their way over here as alternative lifestyles. And everything that's good for the goose ain't good for the gander.
Nope.
And
Not at all.
yeah, and if this war over in Iran and in so many devious sectors of it, and I'm talking Israel, I'm talking Oracle, I'm talking Palantir, I'm talking all of these particular multinational conglomerate, companies that damn near subsidize it. That when you have a rotten tree, the roots go all over the place. So, what's your thoughts on this particular Netherlands video? And are we equipped as a people to put up any fight against this sort of thing? What you think, bro?
I think
And at home, talk to us at home.
Yeah, true. Looking in the chat for you guys and girls to step in with your thoughts on this. It's not all about us, how could I say, over controlling the mic time. Y'all can call in, But yeah, I would say as it stands, we do have that ability to fight such a thing off. I mean, this thing is like a wide range attack, though, because it's like they're using the techniques of brainwashing and so forth. They're trying to brainwash you and trying to, how could I say, shape and mold your mind into it by, putting these things in movies and TV shows and, and then of course, they put it in real time too, in the embryonic techniques of, both gender bathrooms and all this kind of stuff in school systems and so forth. People, there's people out there that's gonna have a problem with that being utilized in this part of a conversation, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it is what it is. Like, let's be real. So, with all that said, you're doing stuff like that in public school systems. To me, it means that you're trying to, mold a mind, shape a mind, what's the word? Pretty much beguile them into the idea of something, And, as it stands, people could stand up and say, no, we're not in for all that, And this thing about one person having a child on their own, like I've never seen one hand clap. I've never seen one hand clap. I've seen the
Well,
fingers and the
the way they
thumbs
say
collide and make a sound.
Yeah, the way they put it is like they take some, some DNA from your bone marrow from your leg,
Yeah.
and they process it. Peace, Root. They take some bone. They take blood from your leg bone marrow, and then they get it down to your genome, and then
Yeah.
they reproduce you through your own genome.
For lack of cussing, I just want to say this on so many levels is just like it's uninteresting to me what these people are trying to do. First of all, you know what I mean? It's just not part of my whole mindset and reality. You know what I'm saying?
Of
And
course,
just
it's not.
I get
I
it.
don't think it's part of any of our mindset
I
reality.
get
But
you.
they tried it. They trying, boy. They trying it. Like we say in the hood, you trying it, bro. You trying it. Like I don't know if you trying. I don't know if you're gonna succeed, but you trying it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like, I mean, dude, like, really, like, you done, stole people's ways of living and their mores and everything and turned it into allegorical characters and books, you know what I'm saying? And make those seem to be historical figures. Was that not enough? Like, what more do you want? You know what I'm saying?
They
They
want it
want
all,
until
bro.
they
That's
want to
that's
squeeze
that
the orange.
Neanderthal DNA, man. They want it all.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you, be like, at some point, you really gotta, draw the line and be like, look, don't cross over that line. Now you stepping too far. Now you stepping too
Yes,
far. That's why I got people who doing homeschooling and all kinds of stuff. They don't want
right.
their kids in the midst of the nonsense. You know,
Absolutely. No,
it's
not at
it's,
all.
it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. A big rule. We saw that. We just played the video of what's going on in the Netherlands, where they're doing a lot of biotechnology. Biotech is the new rage in everywhere. So now they're doing biotechnology where they can almost, for certain, have same sex couples use their DNA to create babies, and then asexual people can use their biome and genome to produce children, and then they're making euthanasia available for everywhere from 1 year old all the way up to 5 year olds, and all kind of weird and wacky ways for people to mess up their sexual psychology. What say you about where that's going? And this guy put out a Morse code for help in
Mm.
the Netherlands. You know.
Um, well, the way I see that is, it was inevitable that we would get to this point because
Mm.
the reason why we're supposed to be seeking out to understand self, so you can better control self and have better control over your ways and actions. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir. Yeah.
um, you know, every,
But it's big money in that in the sexual industry, bro. The sex change industry, the sexual variety industry, the sexual deviant
that's all
industry.
happening because um, scientifically they're going to see, they're going to show and prove that all the things that we consuming that we're not supposed to be consuming, and it's thrown off our biochemistry
Hmm.
in the long run. um, DNA is recording everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like my understanding is this: my physical being is constructed from all those that pre-existed me.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at me, you're gonna see a little bit of everybody somewhere.
Hey, bro, guess what? You are the avatar.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why. That's why that is able to be made because all we do is
Yeah. That's why I
duplicate.
like that series so much, man. They go there.
Yeah. Because as human beings, all we're doing is duplicating and replicating after that.
Mm-hmm.
That's DNA.
Hopefully the best parts.
Right. So, and we can do that, but that's
Mm-hmm.
gaining the knowledge of yourself, and that's why it's important to do so. So that way, um, we can better construct. As men, we can better construct sperm cells, and as women, they can better maintain healthy eggs. Where
Mm-hmm.
when the two DNAs come together, that they're not making alternatives to what we have already known it to always be, which is male and female creates another one. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to this point, and it's going to continue doing this because this is just part of diversity. This is why we got to study these principles and abide by those things, you know,
Mm.
as a people more and more, and forget about law. Laws is based on principle, right? Our ancestors that had a higher knowledge of themselves utilized principles, and they that was their that's what they were tuned to. That's what they followed, was just the principles. And diversity, once one thing is created, it has to diversify.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Has to. That's what's going to happen naturally. It's just going to multiply, multiply. That's how cells are created. So we got to know and understand
Correct.
that's the micro of us, the macro.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So we do it. So once we born a thought and manifest it, that thought is going to replicate again and again and again and again in many different ways, depending on whose brain it lands on. Because you're only going to replicate um, yourself. You understand? You're going to duplicate and then replicate. So that's all that's happening in every
Yeah.
aspect of your life. It just reflects you. You know, that's why I say if your environment is messed up, dirty, whatever, sloppy, then your internal environment is the same way.
Mm.
Because all you're doing is
Fire.
duplicating and replicating. You know?
Fire.
So knowing yourself, that's when you have to make the choice. Because I tell people just because you could reproduce don't mean you go out in the world and do so. You have the ability to,
Wise words.
but if you know yourself, you either choose to or not. You understand? And
Mhm.
that's a part. That's the first part of manifesting. Just because you can, don't mean that you do it. It's like the first person that thought of a gun was a wicked, cowardly person to create a projectile that pierces your body once aimed properly and take you out of here. Their
Mm-hmm.
level of fear was that much that, and the fear grew. It duplicated and multiplied itself. It went from one pops to three to the revolver, six, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Automatics, extendos, machine guns, cannons, all these different things.
And now we got nuclear. Now we got atomic and nuclear weaponry.
Here, you see the level that
Mm-hmm.
we at with it. So life, that's how it is. So when
Yeah.
homosexual, like when homosexual behavior started, it created a new manifestation, and because we brought that into existence, it's replicating itself. Because all alternative lifestyles is based on the first alternative lifestyle, which was homosexuality. All of it.
Mm. Fire. Fire. All
It's
right,
just
man. Let us know at home. Y'all talk to us. Y'all give us your thoughts at home on this. And if you watching this on repeat, please timestamp this or, give us your thoughts and, we'll build on it on the show. You know what I mean? Everybody triggered out here these days, man. Every little thing got everybody triggered. We fighting 4 wars overseas with a whole lot of contemplation and a whole lot of, you know, wage stagnation and a whole lot of playing with the global economy through this war. They don't think people see it, but we see it. We ain't stupid. You closing the Strait of Hormuz, which brings 60% of products from the east to the west. We know what you're doing. It could be a rush or it could be an impetus to price gouge because now you have a rationale to do so. That reminds me a couple of years ago when Biden was in office and they said the ships was off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, and for whatever reason they couldn't dock on They couldn't hit the, different East Coast docks so that people could get their goods and services. And then right in time for the holidays,
Mm.
they was able to come right on in, right?
Yep, right on time to make the
Right
dime.
on time, right?
Right on time to make the
And
dime.
then, yeah, and then this Trump clown is going to talk about, oh, he got a week, he got 2 weeks, he got 3 days. Oh, I'm gonna extend it another 2 days. I'm gonna extend it. I'm gonna extend the extension. Now I'm gonna let this one ship go, but then everybody else gotta wait. Oh no, you can go too. Yo,
Exactly.
man, they play games, man. Not pharmaceuticals, medicine, all of that comes through the Strait of Hormuz. It's not just oil. That's the trigger word. I got everybody, goofy all over
Oh
the
yeah.
planet. But there's all kind of stuff that come through there.
Oh yeah.
And then there's also, I believe, even you sent me the video. Somebody sent me the video of how they're attacking the Philippines now for
Oh,
the natural resources that are in the Philippines. So, America can be the watchdog or the pit bull for the United States, and then Israel can go wherever it wants to go. The juicy juice,
yep.
right? They could go wherever they want to go and take out whoever they want to take out, and
Yep.
we don't get to go spank them.
Mm.
How that work?
Hmm.
How that work? They get to decimate parts of the Philippines, but a girl gets straight prison time for making a joke on that and Yahoo. Talk to us about that, Big Group. Talk to us.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy, but we know who owns these platforms. This is why, we were supposed to create our own. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's how you become a equal. You have to
Mm-hmm.
create your own. You can't come up underneath somebody else's jurisdiction or somebody else's law, you know, and think you're gonna create your own within that, you know.
Mm. I think that's a perfect segue to this right here tonight. Triggered. Everybody's so triggered over these two things. I'm not sure if you guys are hip to the current events of the day, but it got our people in a real ism schism game, right? This young lady who was she was a video vixen girl. Then Ashley is her name, Ashley Janae. Then she became a IG influencer. And then the most recent findings is she married this, white guy, Joe McCann or McCain or however you pronounce his name. He takes her over to Tanzania and proposes to her, and then she winds up dead. Peace, brother Mozzie. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing all right, brother.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Glad you can make it. Peace, bro.
Thanks,
So
man.
we're talking about why the community is so triggered and divided over what happened with this Ashley Janae girl, who was part of the social media hypersexual entertainment industry, as it were, and then the ex governor of the ex lieutenant governor of Virginia, Fairfax, and he kills his wife and then himself, and everybody is in a tussle over what this means for our people, our community, and a whole lot of gender politicking going on in the meantime, in between time. Y'all hip to any of this, or y'all need me to go through the whole rigmarole explaining it all?
I personally don't know anything about it. You're enlightening me right now.
So these are the biggest two stories of the last maybe week or so,
Hmm.
and it's got brothers going after ladies, ladies going after brothers over the politics of what this means in terms of gender. I see a different story, which is why I said, are we triggered by the tragedy or a deeper reality? That's why I geared that way. I see something different coming out of this uh, troublesome business. But what do you
So,
think of everybody
so this guy
get?
killed.
Mhm.
So this guy killed his woman. And then
Well,
killed
that's what
himself.
everybody is ruminating, that yeah, he had something to do with her untimely demise. Yes,
And then he killed himself.
the ex-lieutenant governor. Yes, that's his story. Yes,
Ex-lieutenant governor. That's the guy in the white shirt.
yeah. So
Okay.
they come out of the DMV area. He was the ex-lieutenant governor, and she was a dentist in that very area. And
Mm-hmm.
then, a couple of days ago, the tragedy went down. And
Okay.
right around the same time, this tragedy with this sister, Ashley Janae, happened with her white guy that she got here, Joe McCain. And they were vacationing in Tanzania. And it got everybody going crazy over intimate partner violence, men versus women, brothers versus sisters. And I don't usually deal with gender politics because I think it's all technology. But I thought this particular one and how pervasive it was with the people, especially the young people.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it I thought it bore an investigation, some talk, and some building on. Anybody have anything they want to talk about before I get to the um, nitty gritty of it all? Anybody got any thoughts on any of this?
So
Uh,
basically, oh, go ahead, love.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, no, add on that. I'll add on after.
I was just going to say that just to me, it's just distractions, man. I mean,
Mm.
that's one. Two, uh, I think it wasn't the lieutenant governor. His wife is white.
No, she was a sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her name was Serena.
Oh, okay. I think
Serena
it's become.
Fairfax.
I think it's
But
one of those things where the gender wars in our community is continuing to fan the flames because in this one case, the brother kills his wife, who's a sister, and we need to be speaking out about that. And then it brings up the age old brothers don't look out for sisters.
right,
Look
right.
at all
That's
this
what
stuff that brothers are
right.
doing to sisters. And when we talk about,
Hmm.
interpartner violence, and it's the same old trope that it's always been. That the brothers are always beaten up and beaten. Sisters aren't valued and sisters aren't protected. But no one ever talks about female on male violence that is taking place, and the data shows that it actually has climbed dramatically. Um, and the numbers may be pretty even. Uh, as far as the situation with the sister and the white dude she was with, I mean, everybody wants us, sisters, once again, saying black men need to come to the rescue. And it's quite interesting that we're to come to the rescue of a sister who said that black men ain't worth having. And then she
Yeah,
was
she has
bragging about
a
being with her white man, her zaddy, as they like to say. And, so it's like, well, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you're a black man. And then as far as the on the side of the sisters, it's the same old feminist, anti-black misandry stuff that continues to take place.
well. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of the main key things that had brothers not really responding, and it wasn't like they, browbeat her over what happened and her demise. They were just like, well, you got your preference, and this is the outcome, type of deal. And then
Right.
that got people triggered. That got, sisters, brothers, anybody who, is emoting in a real emotional way about this, you know, that got people real going crazy, calling people bullet bags and, all kind of derogatory ad hominems over something that, in a lot of ways, brothers just responded to with a, okay. It wasn't really a deep hatred for the sister, but in her choice, but her choice did wind up being, having a lot to do with, her choices had a lot to do with the results and what happened with her, with the
Hmm.
with the white guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And What do y'all think of this, man? Anything there? Anything that we should be? Uh, is it all distraction? Is it all changing images of psychological slavery? What do y'all think?
I like to add on to that too. Where I see it is people gonna get with who they want to get with. We we take in we learn from our past, right? So I feel as human beings, some of us we're taken from history, right? The things that we like or the thing that we think should be applied now, and we try to apply that in our family. But then the, the thing where I think we're going wrong in the modern time is that we try to project that into the world as this is how the world should be, and it really
Mm,
can't be that way. You understand? You're gonna have just look, each one of us here, five of us on the call, right? Four of us on the call. We could take one word and say it four different ways. One word, and we could say it four different ways, and it's gonna have four different feelings. That just lets us know, right? Everything is like that. Everything. Everything has to go through a form of diversification, being that's a principle. I'm gonna always come back to that because the whole race wars and this and that, black man shouldn't marry white woman shouldn't marry black man. You're always going to have those people that see life that way because they're flag bearers. It's like a war. You got the flag bearers. You have the first like the first brigade, second, third. You know what I'm saying? There's levels, and there's steps, and there's positions to be held on a chessboard. You got the rook, the knight, the bishop, the pawn, the king, the queen. They all move, but they all move different ways because that's a sign of diversification. And through diversification, utilize your diversity right, you win the game. So people are gonna get with people. Blacks are gonna get with blacks. Blacks are gonna get with Asians. Asians gonna get with whites. Whites gonna get with Asians, blacks, whatever they choose to. That combination, that when y'all come together, it gotta make sense. For me, you have a relationship with somebody, it should be about more making sense to be able to commune with each other, where we're not angry at each other and then angry at the world, and building with each other. You find somebody you can build with, that's who you need to rock with. And to me, those who are saying should be all black with black, all white with white, all red with red, and so on and so forth, I get that. I understand that. That's how us as a people stay in existence. You understand?
mm,
So the right or the want or the race, whatever people want to call it, to stay in existence, there's levels to that. So you go from
mm-hmm,
one extreme to the next. Because on the opposite of somebody who totally cares is somebody who totally don't care in every nationality. You know? So we fight amongst these things, or sometimes we allow this, to interact with these things, but that's why it's a distraction. It's because, you know, we put focus on that, but the bigger picture is they're saying this man goes all the way to Tanzania, right? I mean, listen to this on a common sensible basis, right? I want to get rid of my woman, right? So I'm gonna come up with this harebrained scheme to take a trip all the way to Tanzania. So just to Ghana from America is 10 hours. And that's another 8 to 10 from Ghana to go to Tanzania. So I'm gonna go all the way over there, murder her where it's known, right? Because she's a known figure to some extent. But I murder her to the point where it's known, and then I murder myself
No, no,
after.
no. The person who murdered himself was the Virginia politician.
Okay, so you're saying this guy goes all the way to Tanzania with his woman, proposed to her, and then murders her?
Murders her. Well, that's the word. Yeah,
Okay,
that he deleted her, and then is
And he's
trying to
still
like
alive.
use his privilege to cover it up and move real low. You know what I mean? As it is now, and then saying that she committed suicide.
It still stands. Okay, so all right, so they're trying to label it suicide. So they've been doing this, right? And they are those who are on the extinction agenda uh, profile. You know, you have people that want to see and love people living, and then you have the far extreme, people who don't want to see people live, that actually see better life is with less people, and they want to depopulate, as we say, depopulate populations or people or get rid of people, right? Because we'll have a better life when we get rid of them, right? That's their mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got the
Mm-hmm.
far, which we'll call the hippie, the I love the world, I love everybody, everybody's brothers and sisters. You got those types of people on the other extreme. So, okay, this guy, he goes, he proposed to her all the way in Tanzania and murders her. He stand to win more if she took a solo trip after they were married and then get her bucked off. All that money, I could do it cheaper and get more out of it. It Nobody's really putting focus on that. They're just like, oh man, you see, that's what happens when you mess with a white man. When we already know there's enough interracial marriages that are highly successful to the point that we've
Yeah,
seen them
yeah, of
on
course,
television,
yeah,
and they're highly
right.
successful. You see what I'm saying? So we be putting the focus in the wrong place a lot of the time, and that's the distraction. You see what I'm saying? I look at it and I'm like, okay, why would you take a trip all the way there, murder her in a foreign country that is a black nation on top of that, and she's a figure in the black community? That really don't add up. That now, what would make better sense to me is maybe he was involved in some form of business that's underhanded, and they caught his ass. Pardon self, they caught him in Tanzania.
Well, that's what happened.
Oh, there you go. They
That's
popped
what
him.
happened. Somebody dropped the bird. Somebody dropped the dime, and
Dropped it on
that's
themselves. She
well,
don't know.
I'm not sure, but if it
Yeah.
found out that the two of them were arguing after the
Yep.
proposal, because
Okay.
some sisters who worked at the hotel that they were staying at, this luxury hotel, they came
Yeah.
and pulled a coattail and say, "Yo, dude be in here operating. I'm gonna leave it at that. He be in here operating.
Yep.
He's part of the sex tourism industry here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you sure you want to get with old boy? Because I was with old boy, or my homegirl was with old boy, and she got like 80 STDs and all the rest of it. And then
Right.
in luck, what was happening was, our sisters, they gonna make a movie out of it. So she was in the lobby airing them out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She was in the lobby of the hotel airing them out. Like, yo, wop, wop, wop. How you gonna be wop, wop, wop? How you gonna be wop, wop, wop? So much to the point they were arguing so fiercely that the hotel owner had to put them in separate suites. They were
Okay.
going at it that bad.
Yeah. She was like, yo, I don't even want to be around this guy. Makes
Yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah. She was bringing them the heat. So,
Mm-hmm.
and probably very extroverted, like our sisters like to do, because, sometimes we don't know when to shut our mouth and just kind of get low when you're in a scenario where you're in a foreign place and you can't move the way you normally move. Sometimes you
Yeah.
don't know, shut up and just get
Yeah.
low and get out of that situation.
Yep.
You could always annul it or divorce him or get out of his situation once you back home and you got support and help. But you all the way halfway around the world, airing dudes out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that was a healthy thing for her to do. Matter of fact, it wasn't healthy at all.
Proved not to be.
Proved not to be. And but she, a lot of people are. There's a lot of sisters too that are saying she made her own bed, with her
Right.
Instagram posting and her social media postings about black man ain't ish, you know, all the rest of it that stokes the fires of the community divisions that we have right now. And then, of course, these two things happening at the same time, the immature women of our ilk came out the woodwork to lambast brothers, be misandrous, be really, really, off the chain with it. They're trying to air us out.
So
It's
they're
almost
airing
like,
us out. They're airing us out for our lack of compassion for that situation.
yeah,
That's what
that's what
this
they
is
think.
about. So what do
That's
they
that,
want? Like
that's
like
the,
like like
that's their thought. That's the thought, Pat. That's the thought process. We don't care about that. So we're these non-feeling, inhuman people who hate women, and we're misogynistic, and y'all heard all of it all. You
yeah. I
love to
get
hear the
it.
story again and again. You've heard it all. You've
How
heard
where
it all
got
before
started? Where God
online, and
went.
yeah, yeah. But it's the stoking the flames for me, the recent flames, and it was just
Right.
kind of like the perfect storm of how all of
Yeah.
this
To bring it
evolved.
out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Bring it out.
then it finds out that dude is involved with
Yeah.
her people. This is dude right here with
Yeah, he
her.
a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he bought her the ring, and he proposed Babar and Jafar
Jafar
and
and
Simba and Rafiki came through, and it was this magical moment. Off for her to find out that dude was, you know, he getting hit booties for hire. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and now, how do y'all
And,
feel
and
about all of that?
You know what? I was speaking to a young lady, like past weekend and all, and was building with me about a guy that was interested in her and stuff, and you know, it was a, it was shaping to be a situation like that right there,
Okay.
and she knew that this individual was just into the whole idea of jungle fever, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Mm-hmm.
all it was. That's all it was. It wasn't nothing genuine. They didn't really know each other like that. But this individual was just attracted to them just based on the idea of jungle fever, basically. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that young lady did? She did the smartest thing she could do. Say no and go, like try like De La Soul. Say no and go. That's it. And every time the individual would see her, it's high and by. You know what
Mm.
I mean? So it's like Rue said. Look, you have many successful interracial situations, like anything else. Like and you have many successful situations where it's just as they would say, race on race relationship. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But it is what it is. It's the choice on character. You know what I'm saying? Moral character. You know, this
So
is
this
as
partic-
much.
so this
Mm-hmm.
particular lady, or this
Mm-hmm.
particular sister, 31 or
Mm-hmm.
just turning 31, was very transactional with the way that she dealt with the community.
Okay, because I don't know
So
her.
you
Okay.
could go on her like social medias, and I'm not
Mhm.
gonna do that like other people
No,
will.
no, no, no. It's all good.
But
I'm
she
listening.
wants to show you I'm living fancy like this. I
Right,
get
right,
money like that.
right.
I move like this. My
Uh huh.
outfits are like that.
Uh
I
huh.
eat like this. I drive that. And this
Oh,
dude is gonna help me, sustain this,
lifestyle.
transactional lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, uh,
And he's
okay.
proof that I came up
Mm,
in the world,
mm, mm.
even though he looked like he could be damn near her father.
Right. Well, you go. You always got that factor, right?
Right. And then,
well,
beautiful, beautiful young girl. But I mean,
he was gonna
again,
do all.
original sister lost. Go ahead.
Yeah, she was going to get everything that she wanted, but
Yeah.
what stopped her short is her reaction to finding out how he get his bread.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he
Mm-hmm.
was definitely going to do whatever, but being that they had that low out there, that's what happened. I'm not saying it's right, but
Right.
that is the reality.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Right.
many people, it's like this. This is how I look at it as well. Jews, there's certain Jews that live in this nation that definitely their family benefited off of slavery due to the slave ships and how many people they were kidnapping and bringing here. That's just a fact. Now they have offsprings; those offsprings have offsprings, so they have a lineage of descendants, right? Now, what I look at that they don't know that history gets lost over a period of time. So they thinking that yeah, my family owned Hoover and they got this and that and that and this and they do this stock and da da da, right? So they think that's how the money's being made, but that's not how it originated. It originated from something else. You see what I'm saying? So the way that happens in these families, it happened to her. She ended up being a victim of it. She didn't. She's with a guy that she thought she understood how he got his bread, right? But found out how he's really getting it, wasn't with it. And he's like, okay, now I'm gonna get you up out of here because
Yeah.
he's not gonna stop his lifestyle for her. When in his mind he can just get another one of her.
Mm.
He just step it up and get a better one, whether it be white, Asian, whatever, black, whatever, just another body.
Yeah.
So
So is this a brother Mozzie? Is this an example of a sick of fancy lifestyle? Come back to roost. What's your thoughts, bro?
I think you hit it right on the head with those two words, man. But here's something else we need to look at. Why is it that when we go to other countries, we still get no protection? She was in Kenya or
Tanzania.
Tanzania, and they either didn't have the capacity or the capability, or they just didn't give a shit.
Well, the way that the hotel puts it, he's been there many times before. So he brought her to his spot, basically, right? And he's been there many times before, and he knows the staff. I guess he's in on the
So he gets
politics,
the benefit of the doubt.
right? He has the network to make that work. So he brought
Yeah.
her where he could kind of lay it all out, had a lay of the land, so to speak, where his privilege is, at its peak. And turns out that particular place by this sister here, that was actually not there, but she knows people who understand how that particular area works. That's a sex tourism hotel. Even
But
though it's
there you
five
go.
star, even though it's 5 star and it's the best of the best and all of the rest, that's a 5 star hotel that will, give you some real room service, Godspeed, if you want that type of room service. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just would. It just seems like, and I'm just was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
wow. I was thinking of the old Richard Pryor when he said he was in Africa. He said, "Yeah, man, I heard the police," and I was like, I started running. Then I stopped, like, well, wait a minute, they ain't coming after me. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where I'm thinking that you go there and yes, there's it's that tourism business, but I would tend to think and hope that somewhere on the planet, people that black folks can go and actually, if something was to happen to us, that they would actually really try to take care of us or find the real story of what's taking place or
Oh,
what
there's
took place.
plenty of places like that. This dude chartered whatever, got him there, and he had to run in a muck. He had to run of the land, lay of the land, run of the hotel because he brings them a lot of money. I'm supposing.
So, in
And
other
she didn't.
words,
And she didn't know her naivete. She didn't know any of this.
yeah.
And then the sister at the hotel just happened to say, "Yo, let me put you on." And then she brought it to his head in the craziest, most outlandish way possible. Instead of saying, let me try to get I don't know what their version of Lyft is over there.
Nah, they got
Well,
Lyft, they
Right.
got Lyft, they
let
got
me.
Uber, they got Uber over
They
there.
got Uber over there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let me try to get a vehicle and get up out of here by the morning before dawn. I'm out of here. You
Mm.
Yeah,
know
her
what I'm saying?
strategy
Right.
was all
Because
wrong.
I'm
She
I'm
didn't.
I'm I'm in enemy territory here, but now instead it was the extrovert avenue route that she took, and then it wound up, being a deletion situation,
Well, I'll
and
say
then
this.
Yeah.
I,
and then
I,
it
I'll,
was.
I'll say this on that real quick. She
Mm-hmm.
did have actual help over there because
Right.
the sister in the hotel, that was them caring. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I experienced that in Ghana. In
Mm-hmm.
Ghana, brothers out there was straight up with me. They was giving it to me raw. You know, just
Right.
yeah, and trying to protect. So out there, that's how it's kind of done. Nobody's going
Mm.
to jump out of their vehicle to protect you because you're getting slapped up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nobody's going to do that. But they're going to give you the word to the wise before it actually go down. Prevention
Mm-hmm.
better than cure. So, you know, we're always reactive. We wait until we see something to be about something. You know.
Mm. What do y'all
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
this? What do y'all think about this DC, this Virginia family, and the tragedy that happened there, and the, of course, overreaction that particular thing was, by the community?
You
Yeah, that's
know,
that's the second one you were speaking about earlier.
Yeah, it's two of them. So in the posting for the show, I feature both,
Mm-hmm.
and we mostly talked about this one here.
Right.
And now I wanted to bring up this one,
So
which
now
which
this is the
is
one with the politician that covered up.
right. This is the one with the politician that offed himself and his wife.
Okay, so he killed himself. He killed his wife and then he killed himself. Did he kill the kids?
No.
Okay, but he killed this woman and then he killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
What was the
Yeah.
reason?
I'm not saying this is the reason. This is the context. They were in a nasty divorce.
Okay.
He's a career politician. She's a career dentist, medical professional.
Okay.
And um, what I researched was, instead of a prenup, she wanted a postnup.
Enlighten me. I didn't even know of such a term.
I didn't know it either till today, bro. I said, let me just, give an objective here to certain, whatever. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
listening and I'm finding out that she wanted, in her separation, divorce, or whatever details, she wanted a postnup. So she had degrees that he had to agree to. Um, and then of course there's, yeah, he got some shady past. He out there tapping, you know what I mean, out there doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably what led to the divorce, more than likely.
Okay.
And she wanted a postnup, which would have left dude with pretty much, how ladies do. The ladies like to clean it out. And that was the context behind it.
Because I just
But
looked up the word because, like I said, I really hadn't heard the term, to be honest with y'all. So,
yeah.
legally binding contract created by spouses after marriage,
Mm.
and I'm going to stress, after marriage, to
Mm-hmm.
define the division of assets, debts, and spousal support in the event of divorce or death. But
Yep.
after marriage is, I think, the key ingredient.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So she was trying to enforce that,
Mm.
or maybe had enforced it already. And
Okay.
then the brother decided to do what he did.
Oh, wow. So,
He decided to commit the atrocity on the family.
yeah, pressure
Um,
bust pipes.
yeah, but for me, I don't. These things are. I'm not gonna say that they're common, but they are common. And I don't want to sound like insensitive when I'm saying they're common. There's a lot of people in the world. People go through divorces, and people go through their relationship coming and goings on a daily basis.
Right.
And a lot of stuff doesn't make the news. And the things that don't make the news might make your head spin. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it just doesn't make the news because it's not that important. It made the news because this brother was the ex lieutenant governor.
Right.
And
Right.
right, right. And then what I don't like was the misogyny, misandry, reactionary blow up by the community, why do you think we emote so heavily when these things come about? What do you think that's geared towards?
It's about the media and the way they dress it. Because,
Mm-hmm.
listen, again, I agree with Brother Mozzie. A lot of this stuff is distraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have these things going on in the black community, or the so-called black community. You know, I don't rock with that word all in its fullness that way because of
Mm-hmm.
my belief system. But my thing is just to keep it simple. In the black
Mm-hmm.
community, this happens all the time. Okay, in our
Mm-hmm.
neighborhoods, all the time. Men
Mm-hmm.
killing their wives, and then like Brother Mozzie clearly pointed out. Now, so your statistic that you had up, that it
Mm-hmm.
goes vice versa as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you
That's
don't
why I
you
put it
don't
up.
see us. You don't see our media, which is supposed to be a universal media, right? But it's not. You don't see them talking about it,
Mm.
right? And you know what it's like? It's like, okay, and I mean, this is kind of reaching, and I am reaching. I feel like reaching tonight, right? So, cop on black crime. We got marches over that, right? But inter neighborhood, black on black violence, we're not gonna see Al Sharpton jumping out of shoes and socks for that one. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so many cases there for it, right? But it's not gonna happen, and we know why. You
But you
know?
know that's low hanging fruit when the Bill Cosbys and the Barack Obamas want to come out and try to, daddy us into a certain point of view or a certain, you know, voting block. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that too. You got that as well.
Because
And yeah,
you remember
I mean, you
Barack was
know,
talking. You remember
right.
Barack was talking all that crap about how we don't like women, we don't like our women, and all that bullshit. And then turn around and find out that 75% of our folks voted for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, yeah, with grit,
Ridiculous. It's just
with collard
yeah,
greens in the tub and all. But I'm just saying, right?
yeah, of course, of
But
course. Well,
but you see, that's the problem. They'll quicker speak to nonsense that really it's not true. It's a falsehood. You know what I
mm,
mean?
mm,
Opposed to dealing with something that's real. And
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Let's just keep it real. Some of it is, I mean, we're gonna go far. We're gonna overreach here now, but some of it is because they know that the blowback will be quicker from their own than somebody else. Honestly, these days,
mm,
because
mm-hmm,
we're on remote control as a
mm-hmm,
community.
mm-hmm,
Remote control. Counterintelligence is not even needed anymore. It's not even needed
mm,
anymore. Look what they did that boy
mm.
in Philadelphia. One of our prime young rappers, like you were saying earlier. You would love to see a young rapper take up what those Lego dudes
Oh
were talking about.
yeah, what's my guy's name?
Qua,
He
Qua,
was rapping about the community in Philly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Qua,
Oh man, I forgot his name, but he was
Qua,
fire.
Qua, Qua's half of
Quack.
his name.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. He was dope. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Talking about that's a shame right
You
there.
see,
Ooh
but you see, Vic,
man.
back in the day, Vic, admit, back in the day, back in the '60s and '50s, it would have taken counterintelligence to do that to him the way they did it. Now it's cruise control.
Mm. You just set up the right scenario and boom, there it is.
It's indoctrinated. What, they gonna kill him for a chain that was so skinny around his neck? That's
Probably
bullshit.
wasn't even real.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, bro. He's out there trying to
Yeah.
get milk for his mother on Mother's Day, and they gonna shoot him up for supposedly for the chain around his neck. Now, I'm saying supposedly, but you know what? I believe them because they're so simple-minded. Some people are so simple-minded, and there's no need for counterintelligence. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that I didn't see Al Sharpton jumping out of shoes and socks to address that situation. I
No,
ain't see none of
no,
that.
no.
One of the things too that I think we have to consider is, the situation with this woman is 50 years of black feminism, which which has created a narrative that anything happens to a sister, anything, no matter how she could have been the wretched of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
we still would overreact to the situation that this brother took her out. And a lot of this is because of we've had this misandry going on, and it's gone unchecked. Because if you say something to the feminist or anything of that nature, you're automatically considered a misogynist.
Yeah, that too. But that's like that's the runny nose to a full blown disease in your body. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For me, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go deeper about this real quick. The deeper reality for me here is two things, right? One is plantation politics playing itself out again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
you got the one dude trying to get status or trying to maintain status, and whatever chaos he created for himself trying to maintain status as a politician, and it ultimately came back to boomerang, and he had to harm his wife, and himself. And then the sister, she wants to live a transactional reality. Um, and then we knew, I mean, Django showed it best when you had the pretty sisters, the Ivy women, as they used to call them,
Mm-hmm.
that would parade themselves around Massa or be chosen, and then they want to live that safe luxury lifestyle, and they're willing to do whatever they're willing to do to live it. You know what I mean? And then of course now we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing that sycophancy come home to roost. We're seeing that sycophancy play out in real time, and we seeing that bubble burst. We seeing that bubble pop right in front of us. You know what I mean? And of course, there's a
Yep.
whole world of people who believe that if I get the right status, I'm gonna move and shake and be somebody,
Right.
like that politician thought. And there's a sister that said, "Well, if I get the white guy to afford my lifestyle, then I'm gonna be everything I'm supposed to be."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be everything I'm everything my people ain't. Because of
Right.
course
Yep.
she was one of them. She was one of
Our
them that was
proximity to whiteness.
right. My proximity to whiteness makes me somebody. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you mean like Candace Owens?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just like that. So,
Yeah.
you could even say Erica Kirk, because
No.
she didn't even take time to mourn before her pumps was clicking. So,
Word.
equal rights for equal lefts with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, but I see it I see the sycophancy for what it is, and I see it as the bubble popping on the status level, and I see the bubble bursting on the transactional level for the ladies. You know what I mean? The ladies think that this is some sort of. I think the cat's out of the bag, especially with something as volatile as this.
Yeah.
And I think sisters, especially young sisters, really need to really rethink if they think this is some sort of strategy or some sort of exit strategy or retirement plan for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
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 And you get with the wrong dude,
Right.
and he got something for that, transactional luxury lifestyle that you was trying to leech off of him
Mm-hmm.
for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
make no mistake about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rue said before.
Mm-hmm.
Rue said, "Yo, there's some bad sisters over there in Africa."
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you think you think if she start acting up and cutting up, he can't get another one?
Exactly.
If your girl start acting up, then you take her friend. I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
saying.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
if any, go
I'd
ahead,
like
bro.
to just
Anybody jump in? Go ahead.
add on to the second one. So the second one was the politician, and he kills his wife because they're in a divorce situation, and she had the post nup instead of the prenup.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, that's what's
So,
ruminating. Nobody. I'm sure it'll come out slowly but surely. But yeah.
so he kills her in the process because he doesn't want to deal with the post nup, but he ends up killing himself, and they left back 2 children
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
because of
Orphans.
and he was what was his
He was
job?
the former lieutenant governor. He ran for governor, and I think the West, what's his name, West something, beat him out.
Okay. So
I forget the
that
guy's name.
situation.
Westmoreland or something like that.
Okay, so with the two situations, the way the men went about it, and what sparked it is hostile emotional situation.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I look at the biochemistry. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
I would see definitely they were arguing, so there was already an imbalance of hormones being, taking place. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so um, how I see it is due we're acting on the way we're acting due to what we feed on. So we eat certain foods, we drink certain things, and it alters our biochemistry, which would cause us to be in a certain mindset to entertain certain type of thoughts, and
Mm. Okay.
also the mental
True.
food. We
True.
expose ourselves to these TV shows and all of that. That's food as well. Then
Right.
you got the shit, the stuff that people rub on their skin. They're not even realizing that. Then you got the chemistry that's out in the streets that you're inhaling every single day. That's altering your biochemistry. You know, you don't generate thoughts without the biochemistry being present.
Yeah.
That is a
Yes.
process of a thought manifest. Is the fact
Mm-hmm.
of the endocrine system. That's why it's so important. This is why the two systems that um, European scientists um, or ones that are anti-human beings living, they're always studying the nervous system and the endocrine system. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, those who are in power, that's where they're invested in. They invested in your nervous system and they invested in your endocrine system.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Big Pharma. Look at who owns most of Big Pharma, right? Look, you got the DuPonts. Research them. Um, Bill Gates got into it, right? Bill Gates went
Now
and
there's
bought
the
up those.
what's that new company? Lilly. They're a big medical pharmaceutical company.
They're one of the biggest now.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So look who's on those boards, and look who's funding it. You know what I'm saying? And you'll realize it's people that are their monies are and their time is invested in the nervous system and in the endocrine system, because this is how they control every human being.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see, this is how they control you. Jews,
Yeah, man.
it's not a surprise that Jews are in the world of entertainment the way they are.
Say
That's
more
why
about
it's that's
say real quick in the last 30 seconds for the show. Say more about that and the choices that
they their whole
what you were building
situation.
on and what that has to do with the juicy juice.
So if you look at it in the history, they were the Hyksos. Hyksos, what did they do? They came into Egypt, right? Woe is me attitude. The people who ran Egypt at that time took them in, educated them, and what did they do? They worked themselves into their financial system. Then they
Mm-hmm.
empowered themselves over a 300-year period. This is what they did,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Mm-hmm.
what did they do? At a later date, when they got pushed out and they got pushed into Palestine and Germany and all these other regions, right? At a later date, what do? They come back again and they attach themselves to who? The same black man. And what did they do? They invested in entertainment. It's the same thing over and over and over. This is what they invest in. And so even here in America, what they invest in, who writes your textbooks? Look at who write your textbooks for schools. And look at who invested in that. It don't get more narrow than that. You
Yeah.
understand? It don't get
Yeah.
more narrow than that. So they're controlling your thought through the school system. They have their
Yeah.
money invested in entertainment, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what happened in Germany. They was bringing blacks from Africa to entertain the Germans, and they made money on the Germans. And then what did they do? They infiltrated their financial system. Why are Jews lawyers and accountants in America? By the dozens, bro. They raised their children from the jump to do that. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is how they operate. And we need to know and understand how to move amongst them, because we have to coexist here with them. Just how they look at blacks in the world and say, oh yeah, y'all the strongest athletes, y'all the strongest this, y'all create that, and da 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 da, right? These are natural traits that we have, right, in our DNA. You don't think they have natural traits too?
Yeah.
And what are
Yep.
their natural traits? We've seen, you know, this Jewish population, how they made their money, attaching themselves to talent. That's what they do. They go, they
Now that
utilize
makes
their
sense.
money. Look at the music industry.
Now that makes sense versus their history, especially when you go back to what you said when they they're a very they assimilate. They're an assimilative people.
Right.
If you
Yes.
if you, if you go back to the 6th century,
They're viruses.
back when they were in Kiev, and they used to call themselves Scythians under Bull and Kagan. You look him up, and he chose to be he wanted them to be Christians at first, so they were going to adopt Christianity, and then they were even going to adopt Islam, and they decided not to do that. They decided to be more covert and adopt the Hebrew faith and be Jews. And then, of course, they went on their, centuries old pledge to make the world believe that they were, the original Hebrews of the Bible. But if you listen to it the way they come from nowadays, you won't hear them say Hebrews, because they know that could be disproven. They just say Jews.
Right.
Right.
Jews. Right. They're
That's where the
attached
strength is
They
at
don't
now.
say Hebrews.
to
They
their
know that
real
could be
term.
disproven.
Correct.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they're the
yeah, yeah,
wandering Jew. That's
yeah. They want, yeah, yeah.
they were the
That's what it
wandering
means.
Jews.
Absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely.
The
Yeah,
wanderers.
man. Secret
So that's what
relationships between blacks and Jews, man, for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Because you
For
got
sure.
to think, at the time when they was in Egypt, Egypt was the mecca of what? Knowledge and talent.
Yeah.
Remember, you had the Twa people that did all the gymnastics and all that stuff we see. The Twa were doing that back then.
hmm
They
Even
were
down to the linguistics, the city of On that was in Kemet in that area. You know what I mean?
exactly.
They get their whole so many words are made up of those linguistics that come out of the Smatawi or the Amortare region of
Right.
that area. But yeah. All right, man.
And
Hey, let us know at home. Brother Mozzie, you had something else before we get out of here?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. So let us know, man. Did the bubble burst? Did the sycophancy of status and transactional wealth fall flat for these people? And is there anything to be learned from that? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, turn on all your notifications. I want to thank all my brothers who tuned in tonight, who are on the panel with us right now, my super brilliant panel. I thank y'all for taking out time and rocking with us on the show. I thought this was important. The gender war is less important than the overarching messages that we talked about tonight. And make sure y'all tune in, man. And next time, y'all, I'm gonna wish y'all peace and y'all walk with power. We'll see y'all next time on the show.
Indeed. Peace.